Today I'm going to talk about the child sex tourism. Here is the land acknowledgement. Royal University acknowledged that the campus is on the land of the equipment and the sunheads of ancestors and families. With gratitude, we live, work, and learn here, where that the past, present, and future of indigenous and non-indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. There is the international and local child sex tourism, which significantly impact the number of child trafficked. It is estimated that over 100,000 children in Brazil are victims of child sex tourism in Brazil 2018. The economic reasons experienced in the country as a result of COVID-19 has also played a significant role in increasing the number of children who are victims of child sex tourism. This presentation will focus on the ethical problem associated with child sex tourism and appropriate action to be undertaken to reduce the occurrence of child sex tourism in Brazil. There is the international and local child sex tourism, which significantly impact the number of child trafficked. It is estimated that over 100,000 children in Brazil are victims of child sex tourism in Brazil 2018. The economic reasons experienced in the country as a result of COVID-19 has also played a significant role in increasing the number of children who are victims of child sex tourism. This presentation will focus on the ethical problem associated with child sex tourism and appropriate action to be undertaken to reduce the occurrence of child sex tourism in Brazil. Brazil is ranked as a Tier 2 country with regard to human trafficking, and this is because the Brazilian government does not implement the required standards with regard to the elimination of human trafficking. However, there are efforts being put into law enforcement to reduce human traffic with the country. In most of the urban area in Brazil, human traffic is mainly focused on the sex trade, especially among children. The area where there is maximum children sexual exploitation are the cultural and natural resort regions, where there are many tourists, and it was estimated that about 7,290 cases of sexual exploitation among children occurred in 26 during the Carnival 2020. The victims of child sex tourism are the most poorly educated and come from low-income families across the globe. Brazilian children from the majority of child sex tourism victims. According to the United Nations 2018, speaking children are especially at risk of the sex trafficking because they are not able to communicate with the authorities or the police. This is because Brazil is a Portuguese-speaking nation. Other communities where children are more likely to suffer from child sex tourism are the Brazilian of American descent and indigenous Brazilians. This is because a lower socio-economic status characterizes them, making them vulnerable. And it is estimated that between 215,000 and 400,000 children are trafficked in Brazil in resort, among highways, tourist area, and Amazoning, meaning brothels 2019. In most cases, children trafficked for sex tourism are moved from the northeastern rural states to the south regions, which are theoretically rather and considered metropolitan. The states that are most affected by child trafficking are many Greece, Gorse, and Purple, and the cities that are most affected by child sex tourism are Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. The border states in the country are also known for their sex trafficking, include Parno, Cross do Sul, and Rio Grande do Sul. Outlines in the diagram is the theory of change. The diagram outlines the way in which the trafficking of children occurs. The diagram is essential because it provides a blueprint on how protection can be provided to children so that they do not become victims of sex tourism. The first step for the is the recruitment process. In most cases, victims of child sex tourism are recruited by people they know, and this makes it quite challenging to counter the practice. 2020, the children trust the individual and must let their guardians down. The second step is the transportation of children to their area of explanation. As indicated earlier, there are sundry highways that traffickers utilize to transport children in Brazil. Once the transportation route has been established, it is easier for change to be effect because rigorous check can be undertaken on these roads. 2021. The final step in the child sex tourism cycle is the explosion process. Once the area where exploration is undertaken are established, then change can occur because they can be raised on this place so that the witness can be free. The perpetrators can also be identified and approached during this raid. And there are several steps that can be undertaken to help limit the occurrence of child sex tourism. One action that can be undertaken is educating individuals. When individuals have more information regarding child sex trafficking, the better chance they have to limit its occurrence. Education should be provided to the public using a variety of means such as book, article, video, and listening to experts so that they can be better prepared to stop the practice. 2018. Another way that child sex tourism can be limited is for individuals to recognize the signs associated with the practice. In most cases, it is quite hard for individuals to recognize victims of child sex trafficking. Victims can be found in a variety of places, such as bus station, an airport, a nail salon, or even a hotel. If an individual does not know how a victim looks, it becomes impossible to help the witness. On the other hand, if an individual can recognize a victim, they can help them. Another way to limit the incidence of child sex tourism is for individuals to report any suspicions they may have. Regardless of the location, an individual need to report any suspicion they may have regarding potential victims. If the individual is indeed a victim, and they can be easily reasoned by the appropriate authorities. 2018. Raising a rouse is another way of limiting child sex tourism. It is important to raise awareness among your circle of friends, local church, family members, or other group. It is also important for awareness to be raised in school so the children can be aware that they can be potential victims of child sex trafficking and how trafficking occurs. The final ways child sex tourism can be reduced is by individuals taking action. Individuals should become advocates for child sex trafficking so that the appropriate steps can be undertaken to promote legislation toward child sex tourism 2021. Appropriate letter should be written to politicians or newspapers so that the issue can be addressed and that anti-trafficking efforts can be undertaken with the community. In conclusion, Brazil is one of the leading nations with regard to child sex tourism. It is estimated that over 100,000 children are victims of child sex tourism in Brazil. To help limit the occurrence of child sex tourism in Brazil, several steps should be undertaken. The public should be educated so that they can be prepared to help stop the practice. The public should also be able to recognize the signs of the victim of child sex trafficking regardless of the location. Individuals should also report any suspicions that they may have to the release organization to take the appropriate steps. Awareness should also be raised regarding to the practice to other people, such as local church, family member, and among your circle of friends in the work environment and um, legislators. Individuals should also take the appropriate actions so that the legislators can implement anti-trafficking effort. Here is my reference, and thank you for listening.